Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Call of Duty Mobile video. So in today's gameplay, guys, we're gonna be taking a look at a bunch of updates for the next season. So first things first, if you guys are subscribed to the channel, you can have access to all this in my Discord server and the link in the description. But in today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the season 11 balance changes. So jumping on into it, the AS Val did get a massive buff to the range and movement speed increase, which is gonna be nice for that gun. M13 did get a fair bit of a buff with a flinch decrease, reload time decrease, remove reload penalty from extended mag and large extended mag, which would be W. The double stack mag did get a speed bonus increase as well. The Koshka looks like it got a fire interval decrease, which is gonna make this gun scoping a lot quicker, which I think is gonna make the gun a lot more broken for that matter. The Arctic 50 seems like it got a buff, a nerf, balance overall, which is gonna make this thing pretty weird to see how it's going to play out next season. But the buff it did receive is no longer increases the reload times, and ADS time penalty is decreased from 13% to 5%. Moving on next to the gun everybody's talking about, which is going to be the AK-47. The headshot multiplier increased from 1.2 to 1.7. Might make this thing a 2-shot next season, maybe a 3 at certain ranges, but I think for the most part it's going to stay at a 3. Grout 556, everybody's AR right now that they're running around in COD Mobile is getting a first range decrease from 16 to 50 meters. Honestly, not that bad of a change. I thought they were going to nerf it more. Seems like they're not. The PKM got a decreased aim shake, which that thing has a ton of aim shake on, as we all know, but it is getting a buff next season, so it's gonna map. AGR 556 got a buff upper body, so it looks like it got an increased upper arm multiplier from 1 times to 1.1. The Lapa got another increase as well, increased second range from 17 meters to 20 meters. That might be a W in my opinion to those mid-range fights, how the Lapa actually does play out next season. The J358 definitely is a pistol I rarely see inside of rank, but it got a massive buff to a lot of aspects of the gun. As you guys can see here, I'm not going to go through all of it, but it is there. The Renetti got a burst delay, which is going to be pretty interesting, from 300 milliseconds down to 280 milliseconds. That is a fat W in my opinion, if you guys don't mind me saying. Next up, we got a bunch of buffs to a lot of the tacticals inside of the game. So the gas grenade got a buff, which is pretty annoying to be honest, but it's something I could live with. Napalm got a buff as well. Looks like the score streak is getting reduced from 1090 to 1020. Might be a W in my opinion if you guys are running that. Amped is another perk I never really use just because I use Ghost, but increased launcher reload speed, weapon swap speed, fast throwing grenade speed, and grenade swap speed, all by 20%. That is going to be an interesting one if I don't say so myself. Tracker, footstep visibility duration increased from 6 seconds to 9 seconds. That might be interesting to see how that plays out next season as well. Might have to try it out. Mortardom, a perk that they buffed that everybody hates so much. Went from 4 meters to 5 meters. Definitely not a big deal, but in theory, a meter is what, 3 feet long, so it's going to be a pretty big difference inside of the game. Iron Lungs got a buff and Demo Expert got a buff. Honestly, those are really the only balance changes for this season. Definitely a W in my opinion, but I think they could have done better. Moving on up next, looks like we got a little sneak peek of the lobby here. This honestly reminds me of Miami Strike. I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but that definitely looks like Miami Strike in the back. Honestly, pretty interesting. I think it's a W lobby screen as well. Next up inside of the next season, we do got a new tactical, which can be the trip sensor. Pretty much a trip mine, but it's a gun that you can shoot the little sticky things onto surfaces and detonates upon enemy proximity. Definitely going to be something I'm going to be running, since you already know I love my trip mines. Next up, we got a first look at the Groza. So this is what this gun's going to be looking like. Yes, it is an assault rifle. Looks like it's going to be doing 26 damage, 75 fire rate. Honestly, not that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot more broken, but looks like the control of the weapon is going to be pretty good. Moving on next to the stats for the Groza. As you guys can see, the recoil pattern, it's pretty much S, so it's going to take some getting used to. But here's all the stats if you guys are really interested in all that. Next season, looks like we are getting a new seasonal camo. I don't know if this thing is actually animated or not, but from the picture I have, it definitely doesn't show it to be animated. So definitely an L in my opinion if it isn't. Next up, we do got a new melee coming to the game, which is going to be a ballista knife, which is, I believe, is from Black Ops 1, if I remember correctly. This thing was just a blast. Just go ahead and shooting those things around at players. Definitely interested to see how this is going to play out next season, but I think a W addition to the game as well. Next up on the list, looks like we do have a new operator skill. Y'all guys can go ahead and pause it here if you guys want to read all this, but I think it's going to make changes to audio cues for enemy players. So that's definitely a W, and I can't wait to try it out. Up next, just going quick. Here's a look at the Groza with different camos. We got gold, platinum, Damascus, diamond, ether crystal, and of course the new seasonal camo. Definitely going to be pretty interesting. Looks like we got a look of barrels here, different barrels for the Groza, different magazines for the Groza. It is getting a 50 round and a 40 round. Definitely going to be pretty interesting. Got some stocks for the Groza as well. Here's a list of all the BR weapon rotations if you guys want to check that out. Up next, we do got brand new lucky draws coming into next season. This has got a legendary DLQ, AK-117, QXR, PKM, Bison, and the RUS-79. Definitely all old skins in my opinion, but if you guys are able to pull one and get it closer to that season 5 slot to get the brand new SKS, I think that's going to be a mad W, but I don't think it counts unless you get this one. Up next, we got to look at a bunch of the character skins I believe that are coming inside of the next season. So here's a look at that character. This one stuck out to me the most, and I think is one I'm probably going to be running just for the Christmas vibes. Here's a look at the next character. Go ahead and go through these pretty fast. This one looks kind of mid, to be honest, for an epic. This one looks pretty cool. I definitely like it, but I think they could have outdone this a little bit more for an epic. And I guess the rest of them are just going to be blue skins. Up next, as you guys know, we are getting a free legendary DRH. Here's a look at it with diamond. Looks like that's going to be a polyatomic. We got ether crystal, got magma, got the new skin that I don't know the name of yet, but that camo's pretty fire. Then we got red sprite, which personally for me might be too much red, but we got to see how it looks in game first. Looks like this is going to be a look of all the battle pass weapons coming next season. This Groza definitely looks fire and might be my favorite. This is the way the skins look in a third-person perspective of the weapon, and this is how they're going to look down their sight. So the Bison looks pretty clean. M4 definitely pretty standard. RPD looks pretty fire. The front sight definitely isn't there in this one. 515 definitely is trash. I don't think anyone's going to use that. And then the Groza iron sights are definitely very fire. Looks like we got some additional season 11 balance changes that are fixed. So the Ace Val ended up getting a massive buff. The ZRG also got a massive buff. And looks like it went from 1.7 to 1.55 on the AK-117. So I think it might actually be a 3 to 4 tap now at those like mid ranges for sure. Grau 556 ended up getting another nerf to the gun, which is going to be pretty impressive. Second range decrease from 25 to 23 meters. Man, that is going to be interesting to see how this gun plays out now. This is going to be insane. So up next for you guys who don't live in Garena or Korea, but I think the update is now live for those regions. Definitely a W in my opinion. Looks like we got a battle pass vault coming back as well, which would be tropical vision. Definitely a W in my opinion. And here's going to be the overall roadmap for the guns. So we got new epic weapons, which I did showcase. All of the characters, which I did showcase. Looks like this guy, which is going to go ahead and be in here. We got the Groza, the epic one. Got a Kilo 141 there that I can't really zoom into all too much, but that's going to be nice to see how that plays out. And of course, calling cards, backpacks, charms, emblems, all that stuff. It's just, we don't really interested in that. But all right, honestly, that's what I got for you guys today. This is going to be an interesting season. Definitely can't wait to go ahead and try out a lot of these weapons, blueprints, all that stuff inside of the game. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, if it was very informative for you guys, make sure to hit subscribe down below, leave a like on the video as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.